Hey guys, so right away we're going to start looking at the format method. We need to figure out how to use this method because it's a lot easier to do this and to embed text or strings or numbers or whatever into a string that you want to print out. We learned last time about concatenation using the plus sign and just adding in bits and pieces, but this is a better way to format the text before you put it into the string to be printed out. So we're going to look at that and hopefully learn a few things. Right now, let's go ahead and go to the desktop and see what we'll see. All right, so here we are, and we are currently at the desktop. I'm going to get that out of the way. We need to have a command prompt open. I'm going to go ahead and change directories to our Python code directory. And there we are. And there's all our current assignments. And now I'm going to open Notepad. Let me start that word again. I'm going to open Notepad++. And this is from last time. Go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to save. I'm going to save that as exercise 6 this time. So there's exercise 6. All right, so let's look at an example of formatting. So let's say I've got a variable here and I'm going to put my age in there. So my age is 59, don't say anything. And the sentence that I need to format is this one. And that's going to equal my age is, do plus age. Now if I print that out, then it'll be great. Everything will work. Whoops. And I should see that my age is 59 on the command line. So let's go ahead and save that and bring up the command line, and we're going to run it. _6.py. Whoops. Did I make a mistake? Oh, wonder what the problem is. Unfortunately, you cannot concatenate a string into, or pardon me, a number into a string. This is not an integer, or pardon me, this is an integer and this is not. So you can't add a string to an integer. You'd have to either change this into a string, you'd have to cast it as a string, or you would have to do something else. And the something else that we're going to do here is we're going to use the format. We can use the format method, and that will allow us to build this without having to go and cast it as a different kind of variable and things like that. So let's keep our age as 59. I'm going to say my age is, and I'm going to use curly brackets here. Right, oops, and that should be a end quote. So inside the string, I'm going to use open and close curly brackets, and that is the signal for Python to put whatever I'm formatting into that blank. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use dot notation, and I'm going to use format, and inside there the parameter I'm going to use is age. That's the age that I established. This is the same as this. This is part of the string, that doesn't count. But these two are the same thing. And so now I still haven't cast this as a string or anything like that. Basically all I've done is just put it into the format method of this text string variable. Remember, it uses dot notation, so if I've got a method available to a class of variables like this string here, I can format that. I give it a parameter, which is age. And now, instead of having to recast it and then add it, I can just basically save it. And now let's run it. _6.py. And sure enough, my age is 59. And that is exactly what we expected. We didn't have to cast, we didn't have to concatenate. We formatted this integer into a string, and that is the method that we're going to use for the most part for printing out things in this class. It's a lot simpler to do it that way. Let's do a bigger example here. All right, so oops. Let's say a variable called quantity, and that's going to be 3. And item number equal 567, and price is going to equal 49.95. Now notice these are different things here. This is a float, and these are integers, so they are two different kinds of variables, and ordinarily you'd have to do something to change one or the other. Now our string, my order, is going to equal, I want curly brackets, pieces of item, or okay, now let's look at this. I put a format placeholder here in front of pieces, so that tells me probably quantity needs to go there. Of item number, that tells me item number needs to go there. For dollars, that tells me the price needs to go there. And the way that Python keeps up with that is it matters which order you declare the variables in. Quantity, item number, and price are declared in that order: 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 94. So the order that I put them into the string is going to be the order that they're declared in. So the first one's going to go here, the second one's going to go here, and the third one's going to go there. It doesn't matter what I say in the string. The first placeholder is going to get the first variable, the second's going to get the second, and so on. So let's go ahead and print. Dot format, and we're going to go quantity, number, and pardon me, I was wrong. It's not this order, it's this order. Quantity, item number, and price. That order that matters, not the order that we declare them up here. It's the order that we declare them in the deal. So these three variables are going to go in this order, and that's how it's going to work. So what we should see then is these placeholders filled in with the value of these three variables. Let's see if that works. And sure enough, I want 3 pieces of item 567 for $49.94. That's exactly what happens. Now, even though these are two different variable types, we have integers and floats, it does not matter. What matters is we put them in the format function or method, what do you want to call it, and we also put these in the right order. So that is what counts. Let's see, let's do another one here. Now we can change this up. We can actually change the order that we do these if we use an index number. So the index number here is 0, 1, 2. Remember, this is an array. This is basically an array, and we talked about an array having index numbers for each object or item in the array. And we always start counting at 0, so this is object 0, or item 0. This is item 1, and this is item 2. So let's modify this up just a hair. And let's say we want to make this 2. So I want to pay for pieces of pieces of item. Okay, there we go. So now we've reorganized. I want to pay X dollars, so that price should go there because that's number 2. For pieces, quantity is number 0, so that should go there of item number 1, which item is in the middle. So what this should do is give us exactly the same thing, only it should fit our new string. So let's go ahead and save it. And sure enough, I want to pay $49.94 for 3 pieces of item number 567. So we can control where these things come in by putting in index values. If we don't put index values in there, if we just leave them blank, then the order that they are placed into the format as parameters, that's the order that they're going to come out. So essentially that is how we can use the format method. Now, it doesn't have to be numbers. It can be anything. You use numbers as an example because usually you can't mix numbers and strings, but it's easy to do that if you're using this method to print things out. But it can be other things. It can be text. It can be, this is particularly important if you're getting input from the command line. You want somebody to type something in and then use that value and then print it back to them. This is a very, very good way to do that. We will learn how to do that in the near future. We'll learn about the input function, and it works kind of like the print function does. So we will look at that and we will move on from there. But for right now, that is the way to use the format method. Is you declare your variables, you make out your string, you put in your placeholders, which are opening and closing curly brackets. If you want to, you can put index numbers in there to set the order, or you can just put them in the format method as parameters in the order you want to. You can do it either way. Both ways work, and then save it, do print. So we're using the print method still, and the parameter is the string using the format method with these parameters. And so that's how that works. So anyway, I hope this was useful. Hope it was useful, hope it was helpful, and pay particular attention to this because we're going to be using this a lot in the future. Nearly every single assignment, every single program or project that we work on, we're going to be using the format method, so make sure you get this one down. All right, if you have any questions, I can be reached through the Canvas inbox or 210, top of the back stairs in the library here at Grayson. Let me know, and in the meantime, hope to see you soon.